Welcome, ladies and gents. There was news circulating a couple months back about this AVP, Aliens vs Predator anime. Now, we do actually have an update on that, which we're going to get to in a minute. But just as a bit of background, if you didn't realise, this had initially been reported a couple of years ago, and then it sort of resurfaced because there's more information that was resurfaced surrounding it. So what it was that 20th Century Fox essentially, sat down and buried Aliens vs Predator. They weren't really doing much with it, and the heads of like merchandising and things like that wanted to start using the properties, which makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't you? So they sat around and made an Aliens vs Predator anime series. Shinji Aramaki was part of it, and this, he sort of tweeted this out, and it goes to show, as a bit of backstory, it was completed almost 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Outrageous. So 20th Century Fox just sat on it, but then Disney have even further sat on it as well. It's completed, in the can, post-production, it's ready to go, and you're doing nothing with it. Very, very strange. Very, very, very strange. He was in fact behind the animation on this series. So what this was, again, bit of a backstory. What had initially been revealed, or at least, resurfaced, revealed here, was in an interview. It says this: one thing that did not happen during Alien Day in 2016 was there is sitting at Disney now, at 20th Century Studios, 10 episodes of a fully completed AVP anime series that I produced. This is the individual who was working at 20th Century Studios at the time. It's done, it's in the can, it's mixed, it's finished. It was produced and story cracked by Eric Calderon and Dave Baker, two unbelievably crazy talented guys. Dave Bixler was ahead of home entertainment at the time, and from a creative perspective, he championed this for me. So essentially, what this was they just didn't understand why it had been sat there, why you had all these DC Comics sat there with great storylines. They're like, what's going on? And he said, well, that's cool. Can we do this? Can we call that? Can we do this sort of anime thing? Yeah, I've got a budget. It's not super expensive. You could do this on the cheap. And basically, they were allowed to do it, and then nothing really happened at all. He went to home entertainment. This individual, the woman who was in charge of marketing, her name was Rio Cyrus. Genius, head of production Dave Bixler, pitched them, and I said, we own nearly 30 years of comic book content of AVP. No rights, no strings. Dark Horse did an amazing job, but it's all circle 20th Century Fox. It's ours to do with as we please. Why don't we adapt the original AVP comic book series with Machiko and Broken Tusk? Let's do that. Here's your storyboard. Here, it's done. It's finished. Just take this and go make that into an anime. There you go. So this was kind of what led to it all. And it makes perfect sense. I've said this many times. I'm sure you have as well. Why haven't they done anything with the DC Comics? The Dark Horse Comics, sorry, not DC. And so they did. They actually did, basically. But then it's just been sat there with nothing happening. Absolutely nothing happening on it. Now, the latest is some slight story details and the anime title as well. So this comes to us from Aramaki, basically. So Aramaki, who did the anime stuff on this, recently dropped some details about the project at Otakon, or I'm going to butcher that, but anyway, it's an Asian pop culture convention. Anime News Network reported that Aramaki shared screenshots and designs, but we don't have them, which is a shame, and revealed that the title of the anime was Aliens vs Predator Annihilation, and sort of revealed some story details, but didn't go too in depth because slightly optimistic that it may see the light of day. So here's what was shared. Aramaki noted on Sunday that the 10-episode project story takes place on a giant immigration ship, but he refrained from providing more details in case the project ever does see a formal release. Aramaki did show stills featuring the iconic Alien and Predator factions from the shared universes. He also showed designs for an alien queen he personally drafted for the anime series. Now, again, Anime News Network noted that Aramaki is still holding some cards regarding AVP Annihilation. Although, I mean, I doubt it's going to be released, let's be honest. It's incredibly unlikely. I think the positive thing here is that, you know, this individual, this chap, Aramaki, who does great work, made his own version of an alien queen. I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. Story taking place on a giant immigration ship. That makes a lot of sense. You could probably have Weyland-Yutani in there somewhere along the line. It's probably his, the company's immigration ship, and essentially a colonial immigration ship. And aliens run amok. Obviously, probably somewhere along the line, and predators come down, and I don't know, all hell breaks loose. It's pretty easy to take a look at something like this, but it is interesting. Shinji Aramaki behind this. He was the one behind the project. That's cool. Great work, really, really great work. It's a shame that this just got buried, got massively buried. Like what a joke. What an absolute joke. Disappointing. Very, very disappointing. But I will say, because a lot of people were like, oh, well, 20th Century Fox weren't making good movies at this time. No, true. But they just didn't care about this. And it looks like it was given to people that did care. So, and because it was such a small budget, they were basically left to their own devices, which actually is relatively positive for something like this. I would say. In my eyes, anyway. So what do you guys think? We've had no statements from Disney, no statements from 20th Century Studios. I doubt this will ever see the light of day, but it is disappointing. It is a shame. You could do something great with this. You could do something absolutely fantastic with this. So leave your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear it. I will say just a massive shout out to avpgalaxy.net. I'll leave the most recent article linked down below because they are an awesome website, friends of the channel. And they aggregate a lot of great news in the worlds of Alien and Predator. So please do check them out. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I've been Mr. H. Take care. Bye-bye now.